of the best-known faces in the fashion industry belongs to the man sitting next to me. You might think he's a model because he looks like the ads for his clothes and cigars. He is, of course, John Weitz. John, of all the things you do, which is the most fun?
Oh, I think designing is the most fun, but the hobby I've got is writing. I love to write books because I'm just miserable at it. And designing I'm not too sure about, but there at least I'm a professional.
Who has told you you're miserable at writing books?
Well, fortunately they've sold a lot, but my wife reads very harshly.
You do know that you look extremely well in clothing.
Nice. Listen, Mike, by the way, there you are, one of my most renowned competitors. Everyone out there knows that you're in the tie business and you're wearing a turtleneck. I'm going to tell your manufacturer.
Oh, Manhattan is going to be very upset with me, but I have to because of the chilly weather here.
He has the handsomest ties in the world, this Mike Douglas guy.
In your book, Man in Charge, you offered the American man a lot of good advice. Can you sum that up for us?
I guess the main advice that I can give, if any, is come off it. You know, who do you think you are? There you are, a perfectly nice businessman, 48 years old with a roll around the middle. You're just not going to be a 19-year-old surf boy, and that's it. And that's the basis of the book. I don't mean to be very harsh with them, but I am saying to them, sit up straight and don't wear, not you, don't wear tight belts when there are rolls in the middle, and try and hide things. And then the next question, you know, should you wear a toupee or not? Should you dye your hair or not? Most of the time, guys are so uncomfortable trying to be something they're not. It's not like being a performer. In a performance, everybody colludes with you. I mean, John Wayne, everybody sits out there and says, that is John Wayne, he is a sheriff. But if a guy walks into your office, you're not willing to believe that he is what he thinks he is. So the book is only about that. And all the small things, how to brave life against headwaiters, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Do you consciously think of the man you just described with the bulges around the middle, the late 40s, when you design your clothes?
That's very easy. I look in the mirror in the morning and I know he's there.
Oh, no, not you, John. Do clothes make the man?
No, of course not. Brains make the man, and charm and achievement. I think clothes, if they are really good clothes, can help to round out the entire impression. But I'm always very sorry for anyone who thinks that by buying a red jacket, life is going to change. It doesn't. Or by dousing themselves with a cologne, life will change. I think men, first of all, have to have some interest, something to offer, and then maybe, if they look nice, dandly, then they ought to wear nice clothes.
When John Weitz gets up in the morning, is he terribly conscious about color coordination, what he's going to wear? Now, you knew you were doing the Mike Douglas show today.
Yeah.
Were you conscious of what you were?
Sure. I think every man who gets up in the morning must face that day. You know, old Earl is coming in from the home office, and he's a very conservative character, so I'd better not wear the pink flower tie kind of thing. I always hear about men, apparently, sort of dressing in order to intrigue women. The thing is,
do they?
That 50 out of 55 hours, most men deal with other men, or deal with business situations, or deal with women in business, and you can't go around snorting in your bikinis at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Then men dress for themselves.
I think they dress for the task. I mean, you obviously dress to be Mike Douglas on the air, and most successfully.
Now, women dress for women. And
I think so, too. I think that women really don't dress in order to make men snort like bulls and meat. I do think that women dress in order to be part of a scene. Fashion is only an instrument for which people belong to a group. That's all.
John, does it ever cross the mind, your mind, that people like myself, we travel a lot?
Yeah.
The toughest thing about traveling is keeping things nicely pressed, because you invariably get in at a time when the valet service is closed. You think about those things?
Of course, because 9/10 of business life is travel. First of all, most men overpack.
How?
They just take along too much. The average guy takes along 8 shirts and never wears 3 of them on the trip. Secondly, every bit of luggage should be carried onto the plane and carried off. We're starting a luggage now next year called LOFO, meaning last on, first off. Because the average guy tries desperately to beat the next fellow to the taxi instead of waiting at carousel B.
It's to the
Mike
point.
is still at carousel B, but I'm at the taxi kind of thing.
It is to the point now where you wait longer for your luggage than the entire flight.
Absolutely. Now, in your case, that's different. You and I share one task, and that is when we get off the plane, somebody is going to stare at us and say, how do we look? the average business fellow doesn't have to make a personal appearance the moment he gets off a plane. So he has an easier time. In your case, obviously your wardrobe is an appearance wardrobe.
Oh, sure.
In my case, after 14 hours flight to Japan, each time I've learned, for instance, that I shave just before I get off because there are bound to be 22 Japanese newspapermen. And by the time you see all the stubble on your face and you look wrinkled and messed. Next thing is, I think just get clothes hung by the airline's hostess in that hanging bag.
You carry them over your shoulders. Does John Weitz do President Carter's bit?
Yes.
Then
yes,
you must have a very strong index finger.
Yes, terribly strong index finger. I've seen that.
What? That's a bee.
It's a very interesting one, though.
Yes.
Bees never sting me.
Why not? Oh, however,
Douglas.
he's landing on me. A yellow jacket. I can do without him.
That's all right. We'll ignore him.
He's upset because I'm wearing gray. Let's take a look at what you've designed for both men and women.
Okay.
Shall we? Oh, this is great.
Don Phillips.
Very recognizable face. I've seen
Don
that face
is a
many times.
famous model. Don wears the business suit of all time. It's just the poplin suit, invented on Madison Avenue, traveled from there. That suit has gone all over the world. Not that suit, but its look.
What is that fabric, John?
It's poplin, that great poplin. Now, the Italians now wear them. The British are just learning to wear them because they had a very hot summer last summer. The French think they invented it, as usual.
Yeah.
But in effect, it came from Madison Avenue from the old Brooks Brothers days, and it is the suit. He's doing the right thing in that he's wearing a noisy shirt, a quiet tie, a quiet suit. You can only let one thing be star at one time. If you don't, you're in trouble.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. Thank you very much.
By the way, a suit like that, I think, is worth maybe 125, 130 bucks, maybe 140 at the most. I don't think men ought to bust their pocketbooks to buy clothes.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. And it's kind of an in look, isn't it?
You think that's nice? Look at that. I mean, Alana, who is super nice. Alana is wearing a modern business outfit, in effect. It's just a shirt over a shirt and a great big skirt. The skirt has some silk in it, so it doesn't wrinkle too badly. The shirt also has all sorts of fabrications in it that cause it not to look all messed up. And she's comfortable, and I think she can go to work this way in any office. I'm really concentrating now on business women and their clothes, not worrying so much about the lazy ladies. And if they only looked like Alana, all of those business women.
Wouldn't it be easy for you?
Do you know she's an anthropologist? She actually
No, I didn't know that.
Before going to work as a model, Alana was an anthropologist working at one of the great universities, and her mother was an anthropologist.
I must say that modeling's turned out to be a rather better income.
I would say so, yes. Thank you very much, Alana. The last model.
The last model is a very important one to me because he is a contemporary of two of my younger ones. That's Jimmy. Now, Jimmy has absolutely super spiffy. Jimmy's dad is lieutenant on the New York Police Department. As a result, Jimmy gets a great deal of respect in school.
What is Jimmy's last name?
England.
Ah. Now, Jimmy is wearing the new vested, dressed-up look. The super tie, not Mike Douglas. It happens to be one of mine now. Great shirt, and he's carrying his raincoat with panache. Is that the word?
Oh, yes. That's
Panache.
a good word.
Jimmy looks
You know what that
super
means,
duper.
Jimmy?
What?
What he said?
Panache means kind of flair, as if you don't care, as if you're used to wearing things this way. I think you look super duper, Jimmy. My gosh, will you keep wearing my clothes?
What?
Will you keep wearing my clothes?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jim.
And my thanks to John Weitz. It's been a pleasure visiting
Very
with you as
grateful.
always. Thank you. We'll be right back.